Yo, what is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is doing good. I'm awesome as always because I'm diving into this lab and I am dissecting all these rookies because it's so much fun. One of my favorite times of the offseason is breaking down these rookies to see who they are truly with a fine-tooth comb. Today we're talking Nate Wiggins, defensive back, sticking with the defensive backs. We did Kool-Aid, McKinstry. Now we're talking a little Nate Wiggins. He is a very talented defensive back. And as I start to go down the path of these DBs, you see how loaded the depth is in this class once again. Wiggins is another great talent that we can absolutely gush over. There's so much potential in this man. He made a lot of big plays. I got definite pros and cons and a final grade score for y'all. So what do you say we dive into a little Nate Wiggins, Clemson defensive back? So before we get started, how about we talk a little underdog fantasy? And I'm telling y'all, get in on this. Use promo code COVER1. There are still a lot of other sports that we can have the contest for the Pick'em challenges, higher and lower. Definitely get in there. Sign up early before you get into next year's drafts for the NFL. It is good stuff. Go ahead and sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Don't forget to use promo code COVER1. But let's talk Nate Wiggins, Clemson product, like I'm saying, defensive back. And there's a lot of these guys in this draft class that you look for, even in past drafts where you're looking for the tall, quick, fast, rangy corner. And Nate Wiggins definitely falls into that respect. So let's talk about his measurables. He stands at 6'2", 175. He is only 20 years of age, so the size right off the bat is very good. I would like to see him increase his weight, obviously, to at least the 185 range. Put on a nice 10 pounds. We'll see what he does weigh in at the combine, but I do like the size at 6'2". Challenge some good NFL talented wide receivers. He played in 27 games, 60 total tackles, 3 for loss, 1 sack, 3 interceptions, which was nice. 21 passes defended. He's got 2 forced fumbles and 2 defensive touchdowns, so he was able to make some house calls, even one on a very pretty interception, no kidding. But Nate Wiggins is this guy that we can all get behind. I do believe there's some refinement to all of these guys. Nobody is a perfect prospect. However, he is very good in so many categories that we can talk about. So let's talk about these pros. Very good size, long and upright. You notice that right off the bat. His stance is very long and lean, but he stands upright, so he takes up a lot of the, passing lanes. Just basically how he stands. It's very good. Very good size. I'm very impressed in that respect. Sound athletic ability. You're not going to out athletic this guy, I guess is the best way I can put it. He's good, man. He's good all over the field when it comes to the athletic torquing, body adjustments, ability to make tackles, get skinny underneath blockers. He does this very good. Sound athletic ability in this man. Hops, man. We got the good hops on the jump balls. I'll jump all the way down to the bottom. That comes with that athletic ability. Even when you think he's out of position, he's making those hops and he's able to at least make the pass defended, which is very good. Great long speed and closing speed. So you want to talk about what he could potentially run at the NFL Combine, you got to believe it's going to be a sub 4.4. He may start out the gates just a little bit slow, but once he gets moving, he's going to be sub 4.4 to me, and I think that's going to absolutely improve his draft stock, and people are going to take a lot more notice just when they see the 40 time, because you see what he is as a man-to-man cover corner. Very good in that respect, man. Quick feet, man, and I'm talking long speed. When he's out of position, he closes so quick, and he's going to never give up. I did like that about his game. If we're continuing down the long speed, pro, he doesn't give up, man. He will continuously go after his wide receivers, and I do like that about his game. It shows some heart in his game. He's never going to quit, never going to give up, man. Quick feet, fluid back pedal. Probably one of the best things I saw from his game. It is so nice. The change of direction on the back pedal, going left, going right. It's like a gazelle out there without any loss of speed. So fluid on the back pedal. It is a pleasure to watch for a Nate Wiggins. One of these situations when you're looking for a guy with speed who is a defensive back, is his mechanics very good? And in this sense, man, the quick feet and fluid back pedal for a Nate Wiggins is very good, and I really did like that about his game. Strong recovery burst out of the break, so at times you see him, he plays off a little too far, but he's able to recover. If he's not getting the pass breakup, at least he's in the good position to make the tackle on the wide receiver. Did like that about his game also, but the burst out there, I don't want to say when you see him, turn and run, it's not necessarily the crazy burst that I would like to see. I'm pretty, I grade my players quite highly when it comes to certain aspects of their game. I just didn't like that about it. But when he's recovery burst, when he has the back pedal stop and then come after his wide receivers, the recovery burst out of the breaks is very strong. I just don't know why he doesn't do that all the time when he's covering his wide receivers. So maybe it's just a coaching thing that he needs to be aware of once he gets into the NFL, man. Sound turn on transition, like I said, when he's in the back pedal, the transition turns is like no hip movement loss, no speed loss, smooth, shifty hips. It's very nice in a Wiggins. There is no loss for speed, which makes him able to stay with his wide receivers when he is in coverage, especially on those go routes, on those slants. We do see him play off a little bit, and then he does have the recovery burst to come back. He does that very good. Man-to-man is absolutely strong. He is the man-to-man, off man-to-man cover guy. Zone in that respect, we'll talk about that maybe in the cons, but I'm saying man-to-man, if you're looking for a good off-cover corner who is man-to-man, this is your guy. Nate Wiggins is that guy in man-to-man coverage. No kidding, man. Instinctive on breaking on the ball. It's what he does, man. He baits these quarterbacks into throwing these passes because he plays off the wide receiver so much quite often, and then he's able to make the plays. But the instinctive traits that he does possess, reading the quarterback's eyes, reading the film, understanding where to be and where to come and make his breaks on these quarterbacks and wide receivers is what helped him get these passes defended and those interceptions, even the one that he took to the house. Very good. Once he doesn't get the ball in his hands, he's a very athletic runner in the open field also. That's why I say good athletic ability, but very instinctive for me. I do like that about Nate Wiggins a lot, especially for your man-to-man cover. He's got to have those instinctive traits for you to at least challenge these wide receivers. Willing tackler, I'm going to put it as a pro, but there is work that could be had. I do like the fact that he at least engages in the tackle. He's not one to shy away from running backs and bigger wide receivers or tight ends. He will actively try, and that's why I'm saying he's a willing tackler. So the technique for tackling and wrapping up could always be improved on any player with more reps, but I do believe that he's not afraid to at least go after some of these talented running backs and wide receivers. As for the cons, he can get flat-footed at times, and I think that's also why I'm saying I didn't really recognize and like the burst coming, from his game a lot as well. There is time. The recovery burst is good, but, just running straight, first two steps, you want to see him shot out of a cannon. Doesn't really do that, and I think this has a lot to do with his feet being flat at times. And I think that's also a coaching trait. It's just how he's comfortable and what he kind of utilizes in his instinctive traits to try to get those interceptions or those pass breakups. So, I mean, it's a con, but it's one of these nitpicky things where you could say could be definitely coached out of his game. Body balance and control is uneven at times. Even though he's supremely athletic, he does lose track of the ball, and his body will contort in ways that you don't want to see, which could enable him to give up big plays down the field. So, it's just some understanding that you are very fast and you do have the ability to recover. Don't let that be your standard. Do your technician mechanics extremely well, and then, get your body balance to a point where you're not trailing a guy and then trying to dive after the football. That's kind of where I'm going with that. It is uneven at times, but also another situation where it's not, a dreadful con, but it is something we definitely got to take notice of. Placement, where he stands on the field, he's too deep at times, and it does, make him get burned. The slant routes when he's playing off is just an easy get for a Wiggins. You got to figure that one out. I mean, I get what he's trying to do in his game and how he's played, especially with the system at Clemson, how they did play football. It's one of those things. I want to see him a little bit closer at times to the line, but I get why he's doing that. He does play off a lot, and it's okay. It's part of his game. It's what he does. Like I said, trying to bait quarterbacks into believing the wide receivers are open, and then he pounces on like a piranha coming after some other fish. But it's one of those situations where it's just maybe a few more steps up, and you will be that much better. We'll see how it does shake down in the NFL, but I do think a lot of these cons can be coached out of his game, and he will understand once he gets in the pros versus other grown-ass men that it's going to be one of those situations he can't necessarily do like he did in college. Desperation grabs out of position at times, and it is there. He's holding the arms, and there's going to be a lot of defensive pass interference on this man if he continues down this path. Like I'm saying, he tries to at least bait the quarterback, but if these guys do get around him and he is out of position, he will clutch and grab on the wide receivers, which could be detrimental to him in the NFL. So there should be a lot of that early on also, but I do believe this is something that he can always learn and improve upon just understanding where his hand placement needs to be rather than trying to recover and, swat the ball out. If you get burned, you get burned. Just make the tackle and don't take a DPI, and then you're all good, no worse for wear. Press is average for me at this point. Didn't see near enough of it. We want to see a little bit more. I'm not thinking that he can't do it at 6'2", 175. Yeah, okay, maybe a little bit leaner than you want to see. If he adds 10 pounds of muscle, I think that will absolutely help and assist his jam in his game. But overall, it's just average for me to below average. I want to see a lot more. He is a very fast cornerback. He is instinctive and will make plays on the man-to-man, which is why you're drafting him in the first place. If you want that type of defensive back on your team, he is that good. But for grading purposes, we always got to give these guys a grade score. And I like this game so much that there is a very high-end potential for a Wiggins. 77.1% potential success rate in the NFL. He's in that outstanding to very good ability with the potential of the ceiling to go that much higher for a Nate Wiggins. His tape was absolutely a pleasure to dissect and watch. He is one of these quality defensive backs, and like I'm saying, there are many of them in this draft. It is very deep on the defensive back, and I'm going to keep going with this. I even broke down Caleb Williams, Drake May, and a Jaden Daniels film recently, so I will be dropping those as we get closer to the combine, but there are so many talented players, you can't hate it, and Wiggins is one of these guys. He'll be neck and neck with a Kool-Aid, and I think, he is definitely one of the top talents in this draft at the defensive back position. So there you have it. That is Nate Wiggins, Clemson product, defensive back. One of my favorites right now. I'm still going through all these guys at the moment, and I will pick my favorite at this point. But I mean, good grade scores. There is a lot of talent on this field, and Wiggins is one of these guys that could be a very much a day one player, impact player on anybody's team based on how he plays football, the speed alone. If you want a guy to keep up with guys like Tyreek, even though that's pretty much impossible anyway, at least he's got a standing chance at 6'2" and likely running a sub 4.4. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts, and we'll see you next time. I am out.